Hi everyone, this is Mindy Eggen and welcome back to my channel. In today's card project, I'm doing another mixed media card, this time using sprays and stencils. So the card you're seeing here is the first card that I created and sent in to Simon Says Stamp. So I'm going to try and recreate this card for you today. I'm going to be starting with a piece of white watercolor paper from Hero Arts, and the sprays that I'm going to be using are the Distress Mica Stains in Unravelled, Shiny Bauble, Juniper Berry, and Phantom Mist. Now you want to make sure before you spray these that you shake them up really well to get that mica all mixed in there. And then I'm going to take a spray bottle filled with clean water and I'm going to mist my cardstock so that my cardstock is wet. And then I can come in and start adding the spray to the background. Now, whenever you are creating backgrounds with sprays, no two backgrounds are ever going to look exactly the same. So I'm trying to remember what I originally did. I started with the Unravelled and then I came in with the Phantom Mist and filling in with the Juniper Berry and Shiny Bauble. So I'm just kind of going around the outer edges, trying to really spread out the color. I like how these move with the cardstock being already wet. Then I know that once I have it all sprayed down, it's going to be easier to, spread it around. I also like to spray another little bit of water, really get those colors moving and flowing into each other. And I have this box, it's really just, I think like a scrapbook storage box that I put some paper towel in, and I will pick up my panel with my tweezers and kind of drip off the excess spray that I have on the background. Now you can keep going with your background, you can stop at any point. It really is hard to stop when it comes to adding these sprays because they are so super shiny and really pretty. I also personally like to let my panels air dry, but because I'm kind of on a time crunch because I'm going to be leaving for vacation soon, I did take this with my heat tool to help speed up that drying process. But really, when it comes to anything like this, air drying is really the best. So there is my panel. Look at all that amazing shimmer. I'm going to add a design to this using a stencil, and the stencil I'm going to use today is the Stylized Mandala from Simon Says Stamp. I have a piece of grid paper here taped to my work surface. I added a bit of repositionable tape behind my sprayed panel so that it stays in place, and then I'm bringing in this gorgeous stylized mandala. Oh my gosh, it's totally a tongue twister for me. So I'm securing that down with some tape, and I'm going to be using the Grit Paste Snowfall. Now, I have been playing with this and really trying to learn how this works on different backgrounds and things like that. So I scooped a little bit of it out, and I'm going to spread it over the open areas of the stencil using a palette knife. Then I will remove the tape that's holding my stencil down, and I am going to wash off my stencil right away. But so when it's wet, it's going to look kind of cloudy, but when it dries, it's going to be clear and it's going to pick up some of the color that is underneath. So it is very unique. I think it is great for depending on the technique that you want to do. Just keep in mind that when it dries, it sparkles, but you can see the color underneath. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to work on my sentiment. So I have All the Joy sentiment. This is a really cute sentiment, very scripty and kind of Christmassy feel. I'm going to be die cutting it out of some matte silver cardstock, and then the shadow layer I will be die cutting out of Vellum. I also die cut out the sentiment a few times from some heavyweight white cardstock, and I'm going to layer it together to build the dimension. I am working on a media grip mat to kind of keep my sentiment in place so it's not sliding all over my work surface and also help catch the glue. Now for the top part, or before I add the vellum, I'm doing 2 layers of the white cardstock, and then the top layer is the matte silver. Then I will add this to the vellum piece. So it's going to have that dimension there, but I also want it raised up from the background. So I will glue those other 2 pieces together, those other 2 sentiments, and then I'm going to add the liquid glue to the top of this portion, flip it over, and add it to the back of my vellum. So that's going to give it a little bit of lift and separation from the background. Next, I'm going to come back to my sprayed panel. So it's fairly dry. Again, I was in kind of a time crunch, so I didn't let this completely dry, but for the most part it is. And I'm going to spray it again. And now you may kind of lose a little bit of the definition of the stencil, but you can still, for the most part, see it. And I think it looks super cool when you have sprayed on top of this. So I'm just going back through some of those colors that I had used previously. And then I'm going to take my heat tool and just try and help speed up the drying process so that I can add some splatter. You know me, if you've seen my videos, I love adding white splatter to my backgrounds. So I'm going to use some white acrylic paint and mix it with a little bit of water and splatter the background. Now you're going to notice that these splatters, they kind of feather out. I can't remember the exact term for it, but they kind of feather out because my panel was not completely dry. I'm okay with it. I love it because this is a mixed media card, so I am definitely not going for perfection on here. I do love how the white kind of breaks up the background a little bit, but it is super pretty in person. And I just really had a lot of fun experimenting with my sprays, experimenting with how the sprays work with that grit paste. So it's just kind of a unique look, very shiny, very shimmery. Now I'm going to come in and add my sentiment. So the glue that I'm using is the Gina K Designs Connect glue in a fine tip bottle. I add that to the back and I'll place something heavy on there. And this I do give time to sit because this is on top of a very textured background. So I hope this inspires you. I know I've done quite a few mixed media cards lately. It really is a lot of fun to just experiment and see how things work with each other, and they give such a unique look, and you will never get an exact same thing done twice. So a lot of fun. Now, the beginning cards that I shared earlier was the first card I had done. These pictures are of the card that I just finished in the video. I will have all the supplies I used today listed down below in the video description and over on my blog. And I'm also including pictures of both cards over on my blog. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.